Hello everyone and welcome to the latest medal vlog for our upcoming e-auction closing on the 29th. I'm going to talk to you today about a couple of groups, some very interesting standout groups from the e-auction, starting with this very poignant and very special pair to Sergeant Philip Taff Jones of the SAS. Jones enlisted with the Welsh Guards in 1972 and passed SAS selection in 1975, seeing service in Northern Ireland and in Dhofar during Operation Storm in 1976, the spring and the summer of 1976. He also served as an army diver, qualified there, and also served with Delta Force, hence the pin here. He, at the time of the Falklands War, was serving with G Squadron SAS and undertook operations out there. Unfortunately, he was one of a number of SAS men who were aboard a helicopter which crashed on the 19th of May 1982 whilst attempting to land. 22 of the passengers and crew were killed. Of those, 18 were members of the regiment. This was the single largest loss that had been sustained by them since the end of the Second World War. There is some debate over what precisely caused the crash. Most suggestions relate to a bird strike, possibly being sucked into one of the air intakes. Another possibility is that as it was overladen, the engine might have cut out and failed. Regardless, as the vehicle was overladen, it made it very difficult for men to get out of the side door before the sea rushed in, and there were unfortunately very few survivors. This really stunning group is valued at £16,000 to £20,000. Moving on then to the next group, the medals of Chief Constable Frank Joseph May. May served during the Swansea Blitz as Chief Constable and also head of the Police Fire Department. He began his career with Tynemouth Police Force as a constable in 1917, although he may have been working as a clerk prior to that. Was promoted sergeant in June of 1920 and inspector in 1921, a very quick rise for what was clearly a very able man. He achieved the rank of Chief Constable in 1927 at Stalybridge, and whilst this was a relatively quiet area, he was still very active. He was notably heavily involved with putting up the ubiquitous police boxes, which were at that time coming into use. Moving on to the much larger force at Sheffield as Chief Superintendent, in 1929 he continued with this activity. And was much praised for his ability. By 1931 he was ready for the role of Chief Constable in a larger city, and that is when he went to Swansea and was first tested really during the Llewellyn's warehouse fires the next year, 1932, which broke out just opposite the Police Fire Brigade headquarters in the area. Unfortunately, during the blaze, 2 firefighters were killed, and May seems to have used this really as an opportunity to try and improve the fire department in every possible way. It may be for these activities that he was awarded his KPM in 1935. It is known that he was heavily involved in the recruitment of auxiliary firefighters and also in ensuring that the city had more fire engines. He became eligible for retirement in 1939. However, due to the fact that at that point Britain was at war and that he was such an able man and also still quite young, it was felt that he should stay on. The Swansea Blitz began in earnest on the 1st of September 1940, but the 3-day Blitz, which was to earn May his OBE, didn't begin until February 19th, 1941. During this time, it is estimated that over 13 hours of constant bombing occurred between February 19th and the 21st, During that time, 800 high explosive bombs were dropped and over 30,000 incendiaries. Unfortunately, this led to a terrible human cost. 230 people were killed and 409 wounded. And on top of that, immense damage was done to the city of Swansea. Over 7,000 people were made homeless, and the city centre was remarked on as being essentially completely destroyed. However, May was, during the Blitz, ever present, organising the force, inspiring both firefighters, wardens and also policemen, and ensuring as much safety as possible for the people of Swansea. He notably moved a lot of people out of shelters which were later destroyed in the bombing in the city centre, and was, as I say, heavily involved in ensuring that the fire services were capable of meeting this new challenge. He was very swiftly awarded his OBE that same year and retired 2 years later in 1943, safe in the knowledge that Swansea was a great deal safer as a result of his tenure. This OBE KPM group of 9 is estimated at £1,000 to £1,200. That is everything I have for you today. I hope you're all really looking forward to the 29th and to seeing how everything goes, and enjoy the bidding yourselves. Thank you very much.